Did you ever have or see the videos on Mississippi pot roast? Nice beefy roast with a nice kick from the pepperoncini. Do you like pulled pork? I'm combining the two today. I got a bone-in shoulder, and I'm going to be replacing the au jus mix with some pork gravy, but other than that, it's going to be all the same, and it's going to be delicious. Stick around, and we'll show you how this is put together. Welcome back to the Wayward Gourmands. Welcome back to the Wayward Gourmands. This is Keith. Today we're combining Mississippi pot roast with typical pulled pork into a Mississippi pulled pork roast thing that we're going to be putting together. What I have here is I have a 6-pound bone-in pork shoulder, and everything else is basically the typical ingredients for a Mississippi pot roast, except I'm using pork gravy today instead of the au jus mix. I'm going to bring the camera in. We're going to show you how this is put together. We're going to get it on the smoker. It's going to be delicious. See you in a few. Okay, this is probably one of the easiest, most delicious meals you're going to make. We're going to start off with this 5 to 6 pound bone-in pork butt. And to that, we're going to sprinkle on our ranch dressing mix, our pork gravy mix, and then we dump the whole jar of pepperoncinis right on top with juice and all. And then a little dollop of butter. Boom! Beautiful. And then 1 thick sliced onion. If you want to add potatoes or carrots and stuff like that, add them later when we do the wrap. This way they don't turn to mush. And now to the smoker. Okay, I have my Camp Chef set at 220 high smoke. I'm running competition blend, but you can run any kind of pellets that you like to use for pork. I'm going to be smoking this about 2.5 hours till it hits about 158 to 160 degrees. And then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so we're stalled at 157 degrees. The smoker has done its job today. We're going to take this out of the smoker, turn this thing down, let it cool off. We're going to get this inside. I'm going to cover it nice and tight with foil, and then we're going to cook it in a 250 degree oven until it reaches an internal temperature of 202 degrees, and it should be just fall apart juicy at that point, and then we'll give it a shot. Check you back in a couple minutes. Okay, so this is what she's going to look like when she comes out of the smoker. At 158 degrees, I pulled her off the smoker, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover it really tight with aluminum foil and make sure you pinch the edges to make sure that you get a good seal on it. And then it's going to go into a 300 degree oven, not 250 like that bald guy was talking about. 250 will work, but it will just take a number of hours longer, whereas this took about 4.5 hours to finish off. Okay, welcome back, and we are done. The Mississippi pulled pork is complete. We smoked it for 2.5 hours out on the smoker. When it hit the stall at about 58 degrees, I think it was, I brought it in, wrapped it in aluminum, and I want to say it was intuition because we had like a monsoon come through here, but it was actually because I was too cheap and didn't want to waste the pellets being it was going to be covered. So I finished it in the oven at 300 degrees. It took about another 4.5 hours to get to 202 degrees. I left it covered. When you gotta leave it covered for another hour and just let it rest. Don't peek, no peeking. No peeking. And I have to tell you, when I peeled off that aluminum, the smell that came out of there, I really, really wish that you could smell it because the house smells fantastic. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna bring the camera in, we're gonna shred this up, I'll chop up the peppers, and we'll give it a taste. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, here, I'll give you a sample here. This is just a spoon. And it's just coming, I mean, it's just pulling right apart. It's absolutely deliciously just tender as all. I mean, everything, it's falling apart, but it's still super juicy. I'll be right back in a minute. Back. You could see we pulled the pork. I took all those pepperoncinis out and I sliced them into rings, mixed everything together with the onions and the juice and everything like that. And I'll tell you, it's really fantastic. It's so tender and so juicy that, I mean, it just melts in your mouth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a shot, in front of camera this time. and you get a little of the onion and the pepperoncini and the pork. It's just marvelous. You get that little tiny kick of heat on the back of your tongue. It's really fantastic. I never thought in a million years when I was switching it up from chuck to pork, it would be this much better, I think, in my opinion. But again, that's my opinion. It may not be yours. The chuck is fantastic too, but you got to try this at least once. I'm telling you, absolutely incredible. Thank you very much for coming back and seeing us here at the Wayward Gourmands. This is Keith. If you liked the video, hit like, subscribe, leave a comment below if you tried it. I look forward to the comments. Please, I love them coming in. See you next time on the Wayward Gourmands.